Hello world! How you can be hacked from a simple Google search, iPhone hacking tools have been leaked, and T-Mobile suffers a devastating hack. Again, that's all coming up in today's roundup of cybersecurity tech news. Google has a problem so bad that the FBI was forced to publish a PSA about it. I'm talking about Google Ads, more specifically the tidal wave of fake Google search ads that are out to hack you. It starts with bad actors cloning a genuine website, one recent example being MSI Afterburner. Then they'll switch out the download link for some flavour of malware. After which, using a stolen credit card, they'll buy a bunch of Google ads for their cloned website, propelling it to #1 on Google search. So whenever you search for MSI Afterburner, there's a good chance you'll visit the fake site and unknowingly download malware and, well, get hacked. It doesn't help that Google does a pretty good job of blending ads into real search results. I mean, all you have to delineate whether you're looking at an ad is a really small ad identifier. Of course, this is by design, as you're way more likely to click an ad if you believe it to be a genuine search result. The websites that hackers are choosing to impersonate isn't random. They've been creating fake ads for MSI Afterburner and Blender because they can serve victims cryptojacking malware in the knowledge that people looking for these tools are likely to have expensive graphics cards. It's devilishly smart, and it's made way more effective because a lot of companies do run ads against their own search terms. Like when you search Apple, you get an ad for the genuine Apple website. I don't know why Apple would want to pay for these ads when they're the top result anyway. But hey, they're doing it, and it conditions all of us into trusting Google search ads. However, one dead giveaway of these malvertising campaigns is their URLs. They're obviously fake, but that's not always the case. In a recent campaign, fake ads appeared for the internet's favourite Photoshop alternative, GIMP. This ad looks completely legit. The URL is exactly the same as in the actual search result. However, clicking this ad of course takes you to a clone of the genuine GIMP page, encouraging you to download what is in reality a nasty info-stealing Trojan, Vidar. But hang on, when you're on the fake site, you're clearly not on gimp.org, but rather on a typo-squatted gillimp.org. So how do the bad actors manage to use the real domain in their ad? Well, this is where things get mysterious. In the past, when setting up an ad, Google allowed the display URL to be completely different from the actual landing page. They gave you a blank text box. You could enter anything you wanted. But for the past few years, changing the display URL hasn't been possible. I mean, you can change the path, but not the domain. So perhaps this was made possible via an IDN homograph attack. This is when a bad actor utilizes another character set, like the Cyrillic alphabet, to construct a domain using characters that look almost identical to English. There's even free tools which enable bad actors to type in an English string and then pick and choose similar looking characters from different character sets, creating a GIMP that's almost indistinguishable from the real GIMP. But this just isn't the case here. Okay, so maybe this was achieved via someone breaching GIMP's Google Ads account and then just redirecting traffic. Except GIMP doesn't use Google Ads. Okay, perhaps there was an open redirect vulnerability in the GIMP site that allowed a bad actor to use the GIMP domain in their ad. Except this would have been easily spotted by someone inspecting the traffic. A ton of people have investigated this, and I've read a load of articles on this GIMP malvertising operation, and no one seems to have a plausible explanation as to how this was done. There's also no communication at all from Google on this, which is really kind of strange. Google is usually extremely protective of their ad business. I mean, you've probably heard about their strict new policy regarding monetizing YouTube videos that include swearing. Hell, well, am I allowed to say hell? I don't know, but anyway, one of my recent videos was demonetized because 8 minutes in, at the very corner of a screenshot I took of breach forums, there was a naughty word. The text is tiny, you'd never even notice it, or even if you did, you wouldn't care. So why is Google so pedantic about enforcing some of their rules, but so silent when their service is actually abused? It's beyond me. And it's not like there aren't already casualties of fake search ads. One case that went viral on Twitter regarded one NFT god who fell for a fake OBS ad and downloaded malware which stole tens of thousands of dollars worth of Ether from a hot wallet stored on his PC. As I mentioned in the beginning of this segment, the problem is so bad that the FBI has put out a PSA about it, within which the FBI themselves suggest using an ad-blocking extension. It really has gotten to that point. Hacktivists have leaked 1.7 terabytes worth of tools made by the infamous Israeli company Cellebrite. Now, I've seen this company described as many things: a cyber weapons arms dealer, a spyware company, but in its most basic terms, Cellebrite sells tools that are used to extract data from mobile phones. After hooking up an iOS or Android phone to their software, you can extract things like call logs, text messages, and files. In fact, in 2019, Cellebrite claims that their new tool could completely unlock almost any iOS or Android device. And whilst the exploits that enable that almost certainly don't work on the latest versions of iOS and Android available today, Cellebrite's tools are still incredibly useful to law enforcement. It's reported that in the US, Cellebrite is everywhere. Thousands of local, state, and federal agencies nationwide have used the company's products. In fact, after the FBI's very public spat with Apple over their refusal to unlock the San Bernardino shooter's phone, it's reported that the FBI went to Cellebrite. As you can imagine, this company is somewhat controversial, in large part due to the many human rights abuses allegedly committed by governments using their tools. There's cases all over the globe, some of which have forced the company to take action. For example, in 2021, they halted sales to Russia and Belarus because their tools were allegedly used to spy on opposition activists. It won't come as much surprise that Cellebrite has a less than rosy relationship with privacy activists. The responses to Cellebrite's tweet that they could hack any iOS or Android phone are somewhat less than appreciative, and now a South American hacktivist group, Enlace Hacktivista, claims an anonymous whistleblower sent them phone forensic software and documentation from Cellebrite. The leak is said to contain the full suite of Cellebrite's programs, and it's all downloadable via the hacktivist group's website or as a torrent on distributed denial of secrets. While some people seemingly expect these leaks to spell the death of Cellebrite, they're likely to be disappointed. Firstly, most of the files in the leaks are just maps and translation files. As for the software though, there's no source code here. The leaked programs seem to be the exact software that Cellebrite's customers can all access, and as such, to be able to actually use it, you need a license key, which isn't in this dump. Whilst we might see cracked versions of this software pop up in the near future, I suspect the motives of the hacktivists behind the leaks was less to give us all free forensic software, which will quickly go out of date, but more so to damage the company itself. On that dimension, the leaks were not very effective. I mean, Cellebrite is a publicly traded company, and we can clearly see that on the day the leaks were published, their share price closed unchanged from the previous day, and actually went up on the following day. T-Mobile has been hacked, again. This time, a threat actor stole the personal information of 37 million people, and if you're experiencing a bit of deja vu here, well, that's because this is the 8th T-Mobile data breach since 2018. I don't know what company holds the record for most data breaches, but T-Mobile is becoming a pretty strong contender. Now, when a publicly traded company suffers a severe data breach like this one, which could affect its share price, they have to file an 8K form with the SEC, which explains what's gone on, a process that T-Mobile is no doubt pretty familiar with at this point, within which they explain that a bad actor siphoned off data through one of their APIs. They don't say exactly how this API was accessed, but bad actors do often find ways of accessing APIs without prior authentication. Sometimes an API isn't secured at all. I mean, that's exactly how a miscreant stole the data of 10 million people from the Australian telecoms giant Optus. In the T-Mobile hack though, the miscreants got away with a set of customer account data, including name, billing address, email, phone number, date of birth, and T-Mobile account number. But don't worry, T-Mobile explained in a press release that this is just basic customer information, nearly all of which is the type widely available in marketing databases or directories, so no need for panic. And besides, T-Mobile has suffered so many data breaches that if you're one of their customers, at this point your data is probably already in one of their prior breaches, and so this doesn't really change much. In their 8K form, T-Mobile admits we may incur significant expenses in connection with this incident, and, well, they would know, because in one of their previous breaches, T-Mobile reached a $350 million settlement. In researching for this segment, I came across first-hand reports of T-Mobile being caught in a kind of double screw-up. Someone who claims to work at a T-Mobile affiliated store says they received an internal memo disclosing the recent data breach, which looked something like this. Trouble is, the URL that T-Mobile is linking to for more information on the hack has a slight typo. They've accidentally put .co rather than .com, so instead of sending people to the genuine T-Mobile site, they're inadvertently linking people to what is reportedly a typo-squatted domain used for sending spam. However, I can't find any solid evidence that this domain is used for spamming, though that being said, it is registered in the Seychelles, a place commonly used by bulletproof hosters, and the site is currently empty, with its owners seemingly unaware of the amount of free traffic they're probably getting. To make matters worse, this link has apparently been sent out to actual customers. How many isn't yet clear.
This video was made possible by Linode, who are giving you a $100 60-day credit just for signing up. Linode is essentially your Swiss Army knife for cloud computing. If it runs on Linux, it'll run on Linode. One great feature of Linode is their app marketplace, which makes it super easy to spin up servers with pre-configured software. Use Linode's Kali Linux app to quickly spin up a fresh instance of Kali. The installer makes it easy to configure the basics, like VNC passwords, whether you want a desktop environment, and so on. Linode can run almost anything by providing all the tools a developer really needs at competitive prices. Use the link in the description now to claim your free $100.
As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.